Yeah, we saw a pretty wild movie last night. That was on Shudder, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Joe Bob's Last Drive-In.
Yeah, I like that Joe Bob. He's pretty interesting. Jenny's getting me into him. It's kind of like MST, but instead of commercials, he talks.
Yeah, and he just has like information about the movies.
Yeah, he's real entertaining. I like to have breaks in the movie, like commercial breaks.
Yeah.
You know, so but instead of commercials, you get to hear about the movie. So I like it. But it was what was it called? Brain Damage.
Brain Damage. It's the same guy that made Basket Case and Frankenhooker.
Yeah, I didn't see Frankenhooker. I don't think.
You haven't seen Frankenhooker?
No, but I've seen Basket Case. I like that one too. You can tell that it's made by the same guy.
Yeah, Frank Hellenlotter.
Kind of body horror type.
Hellenlotter, I think that's. Yeah.
Kind of body horror type stuff. But I think this one was made like in 87 or 88.
Yeah, I think this was 87 that this one came out. The Brain Damage came out.
So I was graduating from high school in that year in Brazil, so that's probably why I'd never seen it or heard of it.
It makes me, you know what? And here is something that Joe Bob told me that I did not know. But the little Elmer, the little parasite, the brain parasite that comes out and talks and stuff.
Yeah.
The voice of him is Zachary, the very famous horror host, probably one of the first horror hosts, if not the first one. He's kind of like the granddaddy of all horror hosts. And I thought his voice sounded familiar, and then when they said that he wasn't credited because it was a non-union movie, and he would have gotten in trouble with Screen Actors Guild because he was in the Screen Actors Guild, if he had been credited in the movie, so they didn't credit him. But he did get paid and stuff. So
reminded me a lot of Mr. Hankey.
He did. He kind of looked like...
You remember Mr. Hankey from South Park? The little turd, the talking turd. It was kind of like that, except it was this blue alien. I guess it was an alien, right? Did they ever really say?
No, they didn't really say, because there was one point where, the old guy that had him previously was kind of going into, the last couple thousand years of, the history, where Elmer had been to. Aylmer, I guess his name is Aylmer. But, so I don't know if he was actually an alien or if he was just, a natural organism. But it's he goes in your brain and, makes it you're tripping out on acid and makes you feel awesome all the time. But you have to feed him brains, though.
Yeah. You have to... It kills people for you, but you have to take it around.
Yeah.
And it jumps out and kills some people, eats their brains, then it goes back in. But it's real reasonable. He tries to be real friendly and talks to you. He's got a mouth on it.
He's so cute. I kind of love him.
Yeah. But it was kind of cool when it was filmed. The special effects were actually pretty good for that time, especially for it being basically, an underground movie.
Yeah, one of those cheapo New York movies.
Cheap New York underground movie, kind of like Liquid Sky. It's along that level, but a lot better. You expect you expect it to be kind of Lovecraftian, you know what I mean, with Herbert West and shit jumping out at any minute. It feels like Jeffrey Combs should be in it.
Yeah, we say that about a lot of movies.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Combs should be in more movies.
It was, but it was that tone.
You know what? Something else that Joe Bob told me, I think you were in the bathroom when he gave this little nugget of information, which I had no idea about. But they said, the last scene where Brian, the main character who has the brain parasite, where Aylmer kills the girlfriend, on the subway. He's here's the thing, you can't really, because for safety and insurance and blah, 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 you can't really film on the real New York subway usually, unless you have shit tons of money. However... apparently, I don't know if this is still the case, but apparently the New York subway system has, a real subway, but it's one that's not used by the public, and it's specifically for movies. It's so you can film on the car. It's and if you need the car to be moving, they have, a driver that they will hire, and they'll, go back and forth, to Brooklyn and shit like that, so you can, film on a movie. So it is, a real car. It's just not one that's used by the public, and it's not one that you can, access from the street.
Must be an old abandoned one that was shut down kind of, and they still keep it running,
Yeah, you can rent it, and that's what they did for this movie. So that is actually a real subway car. It's just one that the public can't use. I don't know how much it costs to rent it. It couldn't have been that much back then.
Because the cars, all you gotta do is access the track.
Yeah.
There's probably just a track there, and then they divert a car onto that track if you rent it.
If you rent it, yeah.
Yeah. because they got all kinds of cars.
So I thought that was like fascinating. I was
Yeah.
like, holy crap, I never would have thought of that, because I guess so many movies are filmed in New York and are filmed on the subway system that it's like, well, might as well, we had this here, so we might as well just like make some money off it and have people rent it for movies and whatnot, and not get in the way of like the public trying to use it.
But it's pretty cool flick.
Yeah, like I said, I really like little Aylmer. He's like really cool. It's like you can tell he's really cheaply made, but it's more it's a little more accomplished than Basket Case, and also there is like a little Basket Case Easter egg in this movie too, like when he's on the subway and he looks across and like the guy with the basket.
I liked Basket Case though.
I did too, but it's like super low budget. Like this one's kind of like a big step up in budget. And Frankenhooker was again another step up in budget.
I don't think I saw that one.
Although I haven't seen it in many years, but I remember really liking Frankenhooker. It's actually a lot of fun. But yeah. So we got there's a whole bunch of other ones that I still have to watch on there. Like he even did that new one that we reviewed, like that zombie movie, One Cut of the Dead. Yeah. He did that one last Friday.
Yeah.
And
that's a good movie.
Yeah, so
Funny.
he did that one, and he's done like some giallo. He did like Deep Red, and I haven't watched that yet. But he's done like a whole bunch of other like different he did Society, he did Castle Freak, which we reviewed. We did Society too.
Now Shudder just has to pick up MST. Netflix didn't want it.
That's right. I really
Doesn't
wish
make
they
any sense.
would. It's like, I know it's not horror, but it's kind of sci-fi adjacent, and they usually do show horror movies on there.
It doesn't make sense why Netflix didn't want that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe people didn't like it. Maybe it didn't get that many hits.
I don't know.
Or they wanted too much money.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but I know, because it's kind of like, I know there's riff tracks, and I love riff tracks, and they'll probably just keep going forever because that business model is not super expensive. You know what I mean? Because they can just make audio tracks for movies that already exist, and you buy the movie or stream the movie and pay for that yourself, and then just pay for the audio track, which was like a fucking genius idea. And like I said, there's not like they're ever going to run out of movies, because they do bad ones, good ones, new ones, old ones. And there's a lot that are in the public domain, because they always do like shorts and stuff like that. So it's like they have so much of a fucking catalog that I could never even hope to watch them all. But so they have that, but it's kind of nice like having the show still around, even if it's all different people doing it. It's like there's just something that I like about that format that's like really comforting.
Yeah.
Because for many years, like I would just kind of put that on like while I was on my exercise bike or while I was like doing chores around the house or whatever. I would just always have MST going in the background.
Speaking of shows, what are we doing this weekend for show? What's the episode going to be?
Oh, you want me to spoil it?
Oh, well, I didn't know if you wanted to tease it. I don't know what it is.
It's a serial killer.
Okay.
It's an old-timey serial killer.
All right.
An old-timey German serial killer.
All right.
And one of the worst, most gross dudes ever.
All right. Yeah, I can tell.
This is some Albert Fish level shit
here.
Okay.
All right.
So, but, well, if you know anything about true crime, you'll probably know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's who that's going to be.
All right.
So, another thing I wanted to say, too, was that, check this out. Okay, so, I think I said yesterday how I was out on the path the other day and saw, like, two little moles, like, hanging out just on the side of the thing. This morning I was out there, not only did I see Stroller Kitty again, who was like, the fucking cat is so funny. The cat sits exactly the same way in this fucking stroller.
She wants to get a stroller for
with her two little paws just hanging out like over the thing, just like going, hey, you guys, look, I'm just... And there's squirrels running around, and the cat's just looking, going, huh, all right. But this morning, I'm like walking, and I see some, like, two things, like, up in the distance. And at first I thought, because I was just seeing them, like, butt first, so I thought that it was sandhill cranes, which is cool, but, like, I see them all the time. But then they turned, and it was deer. It was two does. Yeah. And they were just, like, right on the side of the path. And the weird thing is that, even though it was only, like, 7 o'clock this morning, the path, I guess because everyone's, like, you know, been home and they just, like getting out on the path and everything, because a lot of people live around here. So the path has been, like, really, really busy. Like, there's always, like, people jogging and walking their dogs and, you know, riding their bikes and stuff. So it seemed like the deer were, like, hanging out, and then people started walking this way, and people were walking that way, and I was walking this way, and I had my camera going, because I said, ooh, I'm going to take a picture, but they kept, like, scooting farther away, so I couldn't get a picture. Yeah. And they actually started, they looked like they were getting, like, confused, because they were like, oh, shit, there's, like, all these people now, what do we do? And, like, one of them, like, went right in in the path, like only about 100 yards in front of me, and a guy on a bike like had to fucking stop because he was like, the deer was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? And then like went across and like jumped into the bushes, and then the other one was like, oh shit, and jumped in the bushes on that side. So I don't know. There was a lady like walking the other way, and she got a picture of them, although I don't know how good it was because we were just kind of laughing like that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, those deer sleep out here on this lawn.
Yeah,
around the little pond.
Yeah,
because when I look for Pookie, sometimes I see the deer eyes looking back at me.
And Pookie will be out there like sitting out there looking at him like, look, big, huge, giant kitties with hooves.
Yeah. and when I've had to look for Pookie on that back path, back when she used to jump the fence,
she doesn't
or go underneath the fence, the deer would be out there moving around. Deer move at night a lot.
Yeah,
so they were probably up all night and getting ready to bed down when you saw them at 7 in the morning. They sleep during the day.
Yeah, I usually see them whenever I see, because I've seen them on the path a few times. It's always like real early in the morning. Yeah. And I used to see them a lot like when I was driving to work too. Yeah. Well, like between 6, 7, 7:30.
I say that, that they're up all night. That's not always true. They move at night when the moon is full and there's good visibility. It depends on the seasons. Sometimes they'll be up during the day too, But usually dusk and dawn, that's when you're mostly going to see them.
That's when I usually see them, like really early in the morning.
They're either bedding down or getting up, depending on depending on how the moonlight was.
Although, when I used to really see them a lot, when I lived over here, like in Orlando, but I worked in Daytona, and I worked the night shift, so I was like driving back to Orlando at like 3 in the morning all the time. I would see them along the side of I-4 pretty much every night.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Like right around 3 in the morning. Yeah, there's fucking deer all over the fucking place.
They're almost pests. There's just so many of them.
True.
Yeah, and they're living in the city. This isn't the country anymore. This is the fucking suburbs. And the bears are still here. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, like I said, every now and then I'll see bears like just trucking across somebody's yard.
Although it's not as weird as you think, because if you head out towards that 7-Eleven and you just go 3 or 4 miles, that's fucking farmland and country. So
it is.
We're on the outskirts. So
because it used to be, where we live now, used to be all rural. It used to be all like horse farms, pretty much.
Yeah, they're even building a damn freeway off ramp here, and an interchange,
like only a mile or two from us, I think it is. Yeah, this used to be
blowing up.
There's still horse farms out here, but, there's still acreage. Like a lot of people have big acreage. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5 housing complexes.
Yeah, just like right here.
Just like this one. Everywhere. Yeah, right here.
Even like along the path, like when we used to walk along the path, like they built, is it 10 houses, 12 houses? Something like that. They built like a whole thing just like right there, like behind the trees, like right there on the side of the path. With a little gate that goes to it and everything.
Yeah, it's built up now. Yeah,
it's crazy.
And we still don't have a gas station.
That is one thing that I really wish they would build, because it's a pain in the ass to go to. Like, if you go one way from our house, there's a Walgreens, there's a McDonald's, there's a Publix, there's a big hotel, there's like all kind of restaurants and shit like that. So it's like right there, but the only gas station is like the other way, and it's like farther.
Yeah.
And it's just, we never go that way because there's not much over there that we need to go to.
We don't want to bore them with our personal problems, though, with the fact that there's no gas station here.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
It's like they build so much fucking shit around here. I can't believe.
But they won't build a gas station.
I know they're ugly, and it's like they're all like about aesthetics and everything, but it's like I really wish they would put like I wish they would put a gas station right next to that fucking daycare that's next to the Walgreens.
You gotta tear down that nasty old-fashioned church across the street that looks like a post office.
The church that looks like a DMV.
It looks like a fucking DMV or a post office. It's the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. You need to tear that shit down. I'd rather have a gas station right there.
Yeah, I feel like that church has probably been there before all the houses were there.
It's not zoned for it.
From the architecture.
It's not zoned for it.
It's not, no.
But you could build a pretty gas station. Plants and stuff.
They could make a pretty gas station.
Yeah.
It's just like a pain in the ass, man. It's like, I want one there. It's like, I want to be able to like walk over there and get some coffee and shit like that. I can't like fucking walk all the way down to 7-Eleven. That's like fucking 5 miles.
Yeah.
It blows.
What else is new? Anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow day.
It is, yeah. Hopefully I put up my witching hour stories today, so one of those was my stories. I think the next couple I'm going to do like 2 of my own stories like on each one, because I have some like ideas about a theme that I want to do, because I have got a couple messages. It's like, we like the the classic stories and stuff, but it's like, you should put some more of your stories on there. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I might as well. Because, you can always, like, classic stories, like, anybody can read those, I guess, but because there's other people reading them. But, so, yeah, we'll probably wrap this up for our Thursday. So have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.